Okay, welcome everybody to today's class. Today we're going to look at a text called Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts. I haven't actually read this book, but this was a page that was sent to me by a student, and I thought it made a very good page for analysis of commas, punctuation and rhetorical devices. Okay, so if we look at this text, it starts with, "It took me a long time, and most of the world, to learn what I know about love and fate and the choices we make, but the heart of it came to me in an instant while I was chained to the wall and being tortured." Now, if we look at this first comma, because that's what I'm really interested in, I'm interested in the punctuation, and actually it's not the first comma, we've got the first comma here before the but. This is a very typical comma. It's a comma between two main clauses and just before the coordinating conjunction but. So it's main, comma, fanboys, main clause. Yeah, but is a coordinating conjunction, a fanboys word. So it's joining two main clauses together. But if we look at the next comma over here between in an instant and while I was chained to a wall and being tortured, we understand that these are both describing, in an instant is describing when the heart of it came to me. So it's describing the verb came really. It's acting adverbially on that verb came. When did it come? It came in an instant. But this is also describing when it came. It came to me while I was chained to a wall and being tortured. So what we have here is, firstly we have an adverbial phrase. And then we have an adverbial clause, starting with the subordinating conjunction while. Now what you want to notice here is that these two adverbs, because that's what they are, this is an adverb describing came, and this is an adverb describing came, and we could actually change the order if we wanted to, because the heart of it came to her or him in an instant and while he was chained to a wall being tortured. It came while he was chained to a wall being tortured and in an instant. So I'm trying to show you here that these are coordinate adverbial phrases. Well, that's an adverbial phrase and that's an adverbial clause, but they are coordinate. They equally describe when the heart of it came to me. Yeah? Okay, so that's why we have a comma between the two totally equal adverbials, the adverbial phrase and the adverbial clause. Now have a look at the next line, which also has a few interrupting pieces of adverbial information. We have I realised, somehow, and through the screaming in my mind, or I realised, through the screaming in my mind, somehow, that even in that shackled bloody helplessness I was still free. Now what we have here, again, is two adverbials. Somehow is an adverb describing how you realised, in some kind of way I realised. Through the screaming in my mind is also an adverb. It's a prepositional phrase, and most prepositional phrases are adverbial phrases. Remember, in an instant was a prepositional phrase, and it's also adverbial. Well, through the screaming of my mind is telling you how you realised. You realised it through the screaming in your mind. So these are, again, two coordinate adverbial phrases. In the first sentence we had a coordinate adverbial phrase and adverbial clause. Now we've just got an adverb and an adverbial phrase. Okay? Then we come on to that even in that shackled bloody helplessness. Now please remember that adjectives that are totally equal, they can be changed round. The order of the adjectives can be changed, which means that they need a comma. They are equal adjectives, and this is why it's shackled, comma, bloody. They both describe helplessness equally. Okay, and then we have another comma before the main clause, I was still free. Now, the reason we have this comma here is because we've started with a very long adverbial phrase, even in that shackled bloody helplessness. So that's a fronted adverbial phrase. We'll probably see another one of these in a moment. In fact, you can see one down here with in my case. That's certainly a fronted adverbial phrase as well. But this is another one. In that shackled bloody helplessness, I was still free. In my case, it's a long story. I hope you can hear how they both both these fronted adverbial phrases, they tell you in what way you were still free, and in what way, or in whose case, it's a long story. It's a long story for me. So they're adverbials, they're fronted adverbial phrases. Okay, then we have a colon. And this colon's very good. I often talk about the colon being used instead of the word namely. And if you change the colon for namely, it does work very well. I was still free. Namely, free to hate the men who were torturing